Well, welcome back. I'm Terra Mattson, founder of Courageous Girls, and I am so grateful you're here. I'm just taking time to read some snippets from my book, Courageous, Being Daughters Rooted to Grace. And if you are a woman who's joined us, who's passionate about the next generation of girls, or you are raising a daughter today, this book is for you, and it's one you'll want to pick up. So I'm not reading it completely through. You can get the audio, the full audio on Amazon anytime. And also the book and the Kindle is available there as well. But I am reading snippets and having just a candid conversation about some of the reasons I wrote what I wrote. And so today is chapter 1. She Walks with Confidence. This is really a book that I wrote for my daughters. I wanted, if I didn't write anything else, this was the book that I wanted to write so that they could see and learn the things that I had been learning in my practice and walking with other women and girls. And I just thought if I never got a chance to teach them all these things, I wanted to make sure that they understood the heart of God for them and what it means to be a woman who walks in confidence. So this is the dream that I have for not only my own girls, but also for you as a daughter of the King. Malcolm Gladwell, The Tipping Point. I am a big Malcolm fan, so I quote him a lot in lots of different places. If you wanted to bring about a fundamental change in people's belief and behavior, you needed to create a community around them where those new beliefs could be practiced and expressed and nurtured. Hence, I got people here. Hence, the Courageous Girls groups. We can only change and have experience of shifting through experiences in real relationship. It's really hard to do our changing all by ourselves. So this is the profound connection that the Bible teaches us, but also we know this in neuroscience and in the way that humans actually grow. So onto the book. As you read this book, my prayer for you is that you would hear the heart behind it. No matter what you may struggle with as a mother or a daughter, I pray that you will know without any shadow of a doubt that you are loved. I believe that if you deeply understand agape love, everything else in your life will flow from that fullness. We can love others only when we ourselves are loved. See 1 John 4:19. We can give away only what we've received. And without love, daily life and parenting in particular feels painfully difficult. Christ came to bring us freedom, and it's for the sake of freedom from self-condemnation, shame, fear, bondage, that I hope you receive these words. It takes enormous courage to love and be loved well, not the kind of courage we muster up for daring acts, such as skydiving or swimming among sharks in the ocean's depths. Those are brave acts, but not the variety that attracts everybody. The word courageous means many things in our culture today. Well-known author and sociologist Brené Brown defines it this way. Courage is a heart word. The root of the word courage is cor, the Latin word for heart. And in one of its earliest forms, the word courage meant to speak one's mind by telling all of one's heart. And over time, this definition has changed. And today, we typically associate courage with heroic and brave deeds. I do not wish to speak about heroism or bravery. The kind of courage I discuss in this book comes from a deep awareness of who we are and to whom we belong. What if we knew that because of our identity, we are in courage, so we do not have to produce it on our own? If we knew we always had a safe place to land, along with endless source of strength, I believe we would be able to venture into unknown territories and live with greater meaning. This is a beautiful part of what I intended and desire through Courageous Girls and walking with women and girls like you. One of the things that I've learned is that a woman who is confident has really understood how much God loves her, and that he's got her back, and that she's not going around trying to prove who she is through picking up dots and stars from our friend Punchinello in the book, You Are Special. I go on to tell that story. It's one of our favorite children's books that I read over and over to my girls, and that I encourage in the Courageous Girls curriculum as well. It's a story of Punchinello, who was a little wooden person in the town of Wellmix. They're all wooden people, kind of like puppets, and they go around giving dots and stars to each other. The stars are for when you are doing something amazing. You're an incredible dancer or a singer, or you keep your house clean all the time, or maybe you're a social media influencer and you have, 20,000 followers. We go around giving stars, these little well mix, to anybody who's pretty amazing, has pretty hair, pretty smile, that kind of thing. And then there's those that get dots. Anytime you trip or say something dumb, maybe you have a not good skin, bad hair day. And Punchinello was one of those little poor guys who got dots all the time. And even the Walmix would come up to him and be like, hey, dude, you got a lot of dots. And so they give him more dots. And it just felt so heavy for him. The thing is that all these Walmix were so distracted trying to get dots and stars from each other. And all of a sudden, Punchinello looks over and he sees this female Walmix, Lucia. Now, Lucia is like the epitome of courageous girls. I love Lucia in the early phases of these books because Lucia, the unique thing about her is that the stickers didn't stick. She had no dots and no stars. And Punchinello was just amazed at this. So he was so curious. He asked Lucia, how come that you don't have any dots or stars? And she's like, let me show you how I get there. So they climb up the hill all the way up to the woodmaker's house, and they go in and she introduces him to Eli. Eli is the woodmaker and the wellmake maker. And Punchinello is shaking in his boots because usually whenever he's around anyone else, he gets more dots because, hey, that's just what he's used to. And Eli, in his most loving voice, says, Punchinello, so good to see you. And Punchinello's surprised that he even knows his name. And Eli's like, of course I know you. I'm the one who made you. And you could just see how in this story, you resonate either with a girl who's trying to go around getting stars, and maybe you didn't ask for them, but you just get them all the time because you're just really talented and you look the part in our culture, or you've just been dealt a wrong hand and you've been given dots your whole life, or most of us have a little of both, right? In certain places and stages of our life, we have a lot of stars, and then there's a lot of places we have dots, and we even give ourselves our own stickers. Well, I love how this story ends because Punchinello and Eli have a little conversation. And Punchinello's like, how come the stickers don't stick when Lucia, somebody tries to give them to her? And Eli looks at Punchinello and says, because she knows that she thinks what I think matters most. Basically, he asked Punchinello, why does it matter so much what the other Wellmix are thinking about you? Punchinello doesn't know why, because that's just what they do. But honestly, Eli looks at him and says, the more you trust my love and what I have for you, the more you trust that I made you the way you are on purpose, the stickers won't stick. So keep coming visiting me. Keep hanging out with me. I'm going to continue to help you see that you are special and you are made just the way I wanted to make you. Man, I love this story. I get goosebumps every time I tell this story over and over. If you've ever heard me speak or have joined me, you've heard me share, because this image is so real. A courageous girl, a woman who knows that she is loved. The stickers don't stick, and she's not going around trying to get stars and approval from everybody. And when people leave marks of criticism or harm with shame statements, those don't stick. Now, this doesn't happen overnight. We've got to take time in relationship with Eli, God our Father, his word. And we need people like Lucia who are showing us the way. And so that's really the heartbeat of us women, is learning and growing in that. And we can't do that by ourselves. And so the question that I want to leave you with today is thinking about your own dots and stars, maybe making a list of thinking about what are the stars that you kind of are prided by, right? Like the things that you are known for, and you get a lot of compliments for. Affirming one another and speaking truth about each other is not giving dots and stars. It's actually helping us see who we are in the eyes of Father, in the eyes of Eli. But when we need it to feel confident and our identity is rooted in getting those stars, that's exhausting. And it's heavy on our little girls. And most of our parenting styles and our whole world is set up to give lots of stars. And then they feel shame, shame, shame when they don't get the stars and the other kids get the stars and they get a bunch of dots. So we have bullying and we have siblings that do mean things. And sometimes we have bad days as parents and we say things we don't mean. And all those things feel really heavy. And so our goal as women raising daughters today is to help them to understand their identity and who they are and who God says they are, as loved and as seen and as known with a purpose, and that everything about them, everything, their hair, their eyes, their smile, their hips, their skin color, their talents, where they struggle. I mean, they struggle with math, but then what's so fascinating is if you struggle with math, sometimes you're exceptional in areas like social people skills or art, all the things that God kind of wove together in our mother's womb in Psalm 139, where it says, "You're fearfully and wonderfully made." I know that full well. That's what I want for each of us as women. And when we know and we're confident in what God says about us, the stickers just don't stick. And we aren't exhausted trying to earn them. And we aren't feeling the shame when people try to put a dot on us. This is not easy. And it's actually very rare. In the book, You Are Special by Max Lucado, Lucia's kind of rare. And Punchinello, that's why he noticed her. And so these courageous girls, the message of being a courageous girl, a courageous mama is, can we see a generation of more women who really do know they are loved? And when we're loved, then we can love others well. When we know we're loved, First John says that. You love because I first loved you, says the Father. We got to know that we're loved. And so going around teaching our girls how to be kind and, empathetic, good and all, but they first need to know how loved they are. And out of that becomes an amazing abundance of generosity and care and empathy and boundaries, because they know they're not worth being treated with harm. Long term, this is a journey of learning how to help our girls choose wisely and healthy relationships, to have a right relationship with God and with others, including themselves. And so as you think about your dots and stars, you might just write out a list. Again, prayerfully ask Psalm 139, search me and show me, Lord. He often knows and helps us in a better way to know what's going on inside our mind and our heart. And then consider the idea of getting the book You Are Special. It's one of my favorites. It's worth it. I have no endorsement here. I just love Max Lucado's little series. And I think it's a fantastic book. I still read it to my teenage girls. I read it at women's. When I speak to women, it speaks to all of a woman's heart at every age and stage of her growing years. So until next time, that's your little assignment. And I'll be back and we'll continue working our way through the book Courageous. So you're ready to start your Courageous Girls group? Good. Go to mycourageousgirls.com or download the Courageous Girls app. And what you're going to do is you're going to register, and then you have access to all the curriculum. If you want to start your group, you're going to pray, Lord, who do you want me to start this with? Reach out for 1 to 2 other mamas and begin praying and asking God to show you. You really only need 5 to 8 of you, with daughters that are around the same ages. So if you're going to start in 2nd grade, 2nd and 3rd grade, if you're going to start in 6th grade, 5th and 6th grade, you don't want to have a huge break there. But go to mycourageousgirls.com. We've got coaching information for you. And really, you start your group and you each are going to lead 1 time a month throughout the year. So really, if you've got 5 people in your group, you'll lead maybe once or twice a year. This is created for busy moms to help you walk and talk with your daughter at every stage of your growing years. This curriculum is so unique in that it's biblically, clinically, and relationally attuned to what girls are needing today. And I am your trusted guide. I've written all the curriculum. I've walked through it with my own girls, and I think you are ready for this. If you are nervous, that's normal. Part of this journey is trusting that God uses your yes and your trust that He will do the rest.